ChatGPT has created a buzz in society. Recently, OpenAI has come up with an API which has opened up a new world for scientists and application developers. Today, I will show you how we can write a simple Python program that will act exactly like ChatGPT. That is, the user will ask questions and our Python program will connect with OpenAI to get the answers from ChatGPT. The user then can repeatedly ask questions. That is, we are creating a chatbot program. One thing is, our program will be simple looking, but hey, don't judge a program by its looks. In the last part of the video, I will share a simple idea about how an application developer can utilize ChatGPT API to serve website visitors of an online shop better. Let's start. We'll need the API key from OpenAI, as I showed in the previous video. That is, get your API key from platform.openai.com. If you did not already watch the video where I showed how to get the API key, you can watch that video right after you finish watching this one. I am copying the API key from my OpenAI account. The API calls are ridiculously cheap, at least for now, for people like us who are using it on a small scale for educational and research purposes. Here is my Python code. Let me explain. Import the package OpenAI and JSON. The API calls will return responses in JSON format. This is why we are using the JSON package here. I paste the API key that I copied from my platform.openai.com account here as a string and keep it in the API_key variable of the OpenAI object. I write an infinite loop. This loop will terminate only if from inside we use a break statement or if there is any uncut exception. We will use this loop to allow the user to ask as many questions as she or he wants. I use the input function to get user input. Whatever the user enters will come to this variable p as a string. Ideally, a user will write a question here and hit the enter or return button on the keyboard. Then the question that is captured at P will be sent to OpenAI to be responded by the ChatGPT model. Here we put a condition that if the string is quit, then the loop will break and the execution will come outside and say, "Have a nice day." The program will then end. That is, to terminate the loop, the user will type quit and then hit enter. If the user enters anything other than the word quit, the content of the variable p will be sent to OpenAI. If our execution comes here, it means that the user did not enter quit. Therefore, the rest of the content within the scope of the loop will execute. This part is the OpenAI API call. Here in OpenAI.chatCompletion.create function, I am saying that I want to use the GPT 3.5 turbo model for the response. Then I provide the string that the user entered in the messages parameter, where I mentioned that the role of this communication is user. As the content field of the messages parameter, I provide exactly what the user provided, which is in the string p. The response from OpenAI is stored in the completion variable. The variable completion is an object that contains the JSON response. Converting the content of the completion variable to a string, I ask the JSON.loads function to parse the entire JSON string. The variable x now contains the JSON data in an easily retrievable structure. I already did some digging into how the JSON hierarchy looks. I know that within the JSON response, the actual response from ChatGPT is present in choices, then number 0, then message, and then content in this hierarchy. Also, you can watch the previous video where I explained the response and this hierarchy. So now within the variable x, the hierarchy choices 0, message, then content will give us the actual response string. To make it fancy, we print AI says and then we print the response text. That's it. We have our simple looking, non-fancy chatbot. Even though it is simple, it is quite powerful as the original ChatGPT. Wait, actually this is the original ChatGPT because we are using the ChatGPT API. Anyway, let us run the program and see how it works. The program provides this prompt to the user: enter quit to quit or enter your prompt. Then the user, which is me at this point, writes quit and hits enter. Yes, the program is saying have a nice day. That is, the program did quit as expected. Now let us run the program again to see if it works like a chatbot such as ChatGPT. I, the user, ask what is GAN in DL? That is, I am asking what a generative adversarial network in deep learning is. AI says, then we have the response text from ChatGPT. GAN stands for Generative Adversarial Network. Reading it, I find that this chatbot provided a reasonably wonderful answer. Our program is again on the user prompt asking if we want to quit or we want to enter a prompt. Now I am trying to be funny here. So I ask, what is the meaning of life? AI says, as an AI language model, I don't have personal beliefs. Then it also says, to some, the meaning of life may be to find happiness and fulfillment. The response is pretty amazing. Then I ask it, name a few datasets that are commonly used as exercises to study classification algorithms. It answered my question correctly and listed some widely used datasets for classification practice. Then I quit the program by typing quit and hitting the enter button. ChatGPT API is an excellent product API that OpenAI has made. You can use it for many things. For example, let us say that you are building a shop website for food products. Someone searches for keto food, and none of the product descriptions have the phrase keto food. So your program or system can query OpenAI using ChatGPT API about keto food, and after receiving the response, you can search for which food product descriptions have some overlap with the ChatGPT's response. Then you show those products as the search result. This is how you can expand user queries, because sometimes user queries might not have enough words that directly match the product in the inventory list. Anyway, this is just an idea, but you can come up with plenty of other ideas based on what application you are currently working on. Whatever you do, please use the power of artificial intelligence responsibly. See you soon.